The people of North Korea adore Kim Jong Un with an unparalleled fervor, not because they are compelled under threat of death or imprisonment, but because obviously, who wouldn't love a leader who provides them with constant military parades, periodic purges, and a stagnant economy? If you think Kim Jong Un is a dictator, you'd be upset to know that his love for democracy is as deep as his devotion to human rights and freedom of the press, as long as it doesn't affect his power or his government. The 6 most terrible reprisals of Kim Jong Un. The assassination of his half-brother Kim Jong-nam, 2017. On February 13, 2017, Kim Jong-nam, Kim Jong-un's half-brother, was assassinated at Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia in an act that captured global attention. Kim Jong-nam, who had lived in exile for years, was approached by 2 women while awaiting a flight. These women, allegedly deceived into believing they were participating in a television prank, rubbed his face with a cloth soaked in VX nerve agent, a highly lethal chemical classified as a weapon of mass destruction. Jong-nam died within minutes due to paralysis caused by the agent, which attacks the central nervous system. The assassination of Kim Jong-nam was immediately attributed to direct orders from his half-brother Kim Jong-un. Despite living in exile, Jong-nam was seen as a potential threat to Kim Jong-un's power due to his lineage. As the eldest son of Kim Jong-il, Jong-nam had once been considered a potential successor before falling out of favor and fleeing North Korea. His murder was perceived as a preemptive measure by Kim Jong-un to eliminate any potential rival claims to leadership, thus securing his absolute control. The use of VX nerve agent to carry out the assassination underscores the brutality and sophistication of tactics employed by the North Korean regime. This agent is extremely rare and difficult to obtain, suggesting direct state involvement in the planning and execution of the crime. Furthermore, the assassination at an international airport in broad daylight was a bold display of power and a warning to any potential dissidents. The incident sparked a diplomatic crisis as Malaysia formally accused North Korea of orchestrating the murder, leading to a series of diplomatic expulsions and deterioration in relations between the 2 countries. Ultimately, the assassination of Kim Jong-nam laid bare the lengths to which Kim Jong-un is willing to go to consolidate his power and eliminate any real or perceived threats to his regime. Despite international condemnation and resulting sanctions, Kim Jong-un has continued to exert tight control over North Korea, using fear and repression as his primary tools of governance. This event not only removed a potential rival, but also sent a clear message to both his countrymen and the world. Any act of disloyalty will be ruthlessly punished. The disappearance of his former girlfriend, Hyeon Song-wol. The disappearance of Hyeon Song-wol, a renowned North Korean singer and former girlfriend of Kim Jong-un, is a disturbing example of the regime's extreme cruelty. In 2013, it was reported that Hyeon had been executed along with other artists, accused of involvement in pornographic activities, a charge that in North Korea can mean the difference between life and death. The alleged execution showcased Kim Jong-un's ruthless brutality, willing to eliminate anyone who could pose a threat, no matter how intimate the past relationship. The accusation of pornography, in a country where public morality is tightly controlled by the regime, served as a convenient excuse to dispose of Hyeon and the other artists. These charges not only tarnished her reputation, but also served as a chilling warning to all. No one, not even those close to the leader, is safe from his wrath. The public execution of these artists was a terror strategy designed to keep the population in a constant state of fear and submission. However, in an even more macabre turn, Hyeon Song-wol reappeared years later, alive and seemingly unharmed. This resurgence only adds another layer of cruelty to the already dark episode. The execution of Hyeon was nothing more than a calculated tactic to suppress rumors and consolidate Kim Jong-un's control. By faking her death, Kim sent a clear message. He can play with people's lives and deaths at his whim, using even his close associates as pawns in his power game. This reappearance of Hyeon does not redeem the cruelty of the act, but amplifies it. It reveals a disturbing willingness of the regime to manipulate and psychologically traumatize both the population and Kim Jong-un's inner circle. Hyun's life was used as a tool to demonstrate the leader's absolute power, who does not hesitate to resort to the vilest of stratagems to maintain his dominance. Hyun Song-woo's case is a chilling testament to the unlimited scope of Kim Jong-un's cruelty and his regime, where human life is disposable and personal relationships are mere tools of control and oppression. The imprisonment of his sister Kim Yo-jong. The imprisonment of Kim Yo-jong, Kim Jong-un's sister, is a terrifying reflection of the brutality and paranoia that pervades the North Korean regime. Although there are no official confirmations, rumors of her imprisonment due to internal disputes over power and politics paint a chilling picture of intrigue and revenge within the leader's inner circle. Kim Yo-jong, despite her closeness and loyalty to her brother, would not be exempt from the ruthless control that Kim Jong-un exercises over everyone, including his own blood. The possibility that Kim Yo-jong has been imprisoned suggests that, in Kim Jong-un's regime, loyalty is not enough guarantee of security. Despite her crucial role in regime propaganda and frequent appearances at international events, any display of ambition or disobedience could have been seen as an intolerable threat. Kim Jong-un's decision to imprison his own sister, if the rumors are true, would be an act of extreme cruelty designed to eliminate any shadow of dissent and consolidate his absolute rule. Kim Yo-jong's imprisonment would not only be an act of familial brutality, but also a tactic of psychological terror aimed at all members of the regime. Sending his sister to prison would be a grim warning. If someone so close to him can be punished so severely, no one is safe from his wrath. This act of extreme cruelty, if true, would reveal a level of distrust and betrayal at the heart of the regime, where family relationships are sacrificed on the altar of absolute power. The mere existence of these rumors underscores the atmosphere of fear and oppression that defines life under Kim Jong-un's regime. Even those who seem untouchable can be subjected to the cruelest reprisals. The image of Kim Yo-jong, a powerful figure in her own right, languishing in a cell by orders of her own brother, is a terrifying testament to the ruthless nature of power in North Korea. It is a story that illustrates not only Kim Jong-un's cruelty, but also the fragile and dangerous position of those closest to the throne. The possible execution of Pakyongsik. The disappearance of Pakyongsik, former minister of the People's Armed Forces in North Korea, is a dark chapter in Kim Jong-un's relentless purge list. After being replaced in his position, Pak vanished from public life without a trace, leading to speculation about his fate. In a regime where falling out of favor can mean the difference between life and death, Pak's disappearance hints at a possible execution ordered by Kim Jong-un, who tolerates no hint of dissent or incompetence. Pakyongsik, a prominent figure in the North Korean military apparatus, may have been seen as a potential threat to Kim Jong-un's absolute control. His dismissal and subsequent disappearance indicate a calculated purge, a preferred tool of the North Korean leader to eliminate rivals and consolidate power. In a system where power is maintained through fear and repression, the removal of high officials like Pak is not just punishment, but a terrifying message to all others. Loyalty must be absolute and any failure can be fatal. The possible execution of Pakyongsik underscores the ruthless and paranoid nature of Kim Jong-un's regime. Even the highest officials, who should be protected by their position and contributions to the state, are not safe from brutal purges. Pak's disappearance suggests that any real or perceived disagreement with Kim Jong-un can lead to swift and silent removal. This act of extreme cruelty keeps the North Korean elite in a state of constant anxiety, knowing they could face the same fate at any moment. In such a secretive regime like North Korea's, Pakyongsik's disappearance is not openly discussed, but the fear and uncertainty it generates are palpable. The lack of official information and the vanishing of such a prominent figure reinforce the atmosphere of terror meticulously constructed by Kim Jong-un. Speculation about Pak's execution not only instills fear, but also bolsters Kim Jong-un's image as a relentless leader who will stop at nothing to maintain absolute control. This possible execution serves as a brutal reminder of the reality faced by those who operate under his shadow. The execution of his uncle Jang Song Thaek, 2013. The execution of Jang Song Thaek in 2013 is a brutal episode that illustrates Kim Jong Un's ruthless consolidation of power. Jang, Kim's uncle and a key figure in the North Korean government, was one of the most influential men in the country and had been considered a mentor to the young leader. However, in a cruel and calculated twist, Kim Jong Un ordered his arrest and execution, accusing him of treason and corruption. Jang's downfall was as swift as it was ruthless, and his execution not only eliminated a potential rival, but sent a chilling message throughout the regime. Loyalty must be absolute, and any deviation will be punished with utmost severity. The accusation of treason and corruption against Jang Song Thaek was a carefully orchestrated sham to justify his removal. In a public spectacle of humiliation, Jang was arrested during a Workers' Party meeting, stripped of all his titles, and brought before a military tribunal. The trial, a mockery of justice, ended with an immediate death sentence. Reports suggest Jang was executed in an extremely brutal manner. Some rumors indicate he was devoured by hungry dogs, though this has not been confirmed. Regardless of the method, the execution was designed to be a brutal and dehumanizing warning. The murder of Jang Song Thaek not only removed a powerful rival, but also served as an exemplary purge within the party and the military. Hundreds of his followers and associates were detained, sent to labor camps, or executed. This massive purge dismantled any support network Jang may have had, ensuring that no trace of resistance against Kim Jong Un remained. The atmosphere of terror intensified, and any suspicion of disloyalty became a virtual death sentence. Kim Jong Un used his uncle's death to bolster his image as an uncompromising and omnipotent leader, willing to sacrifice even his own family to maintain control. The execution of Jang Song Thaek was a statement of power as clear as it was cruel. Kim Jong Un demonstrated that there are no limits to his cruelty and that no familial relationship is above his thirst for power. This brutal execution shattered any illusion of safety that high-ranking officials may have harbored. The lesson was learned in a painful and bloody manner. In Kim Jong-un's regime, human life is disposable, and power is maintained through acts of extreme violence and boundless cruelty. The shadow of Jang Song Thaek remains a grim reminder of the fate that awaits anyone who dares to challenge North Korea's supreme leader. Economic opponents elimination. The elimination of economic opponents by Kim Jong-un is a terrifying testament to his totalitarian control over North Korea. Anyone perceived as a threat to his economic dominance faces an unrelenting fate. Entrepreneurs and senior economic officials who fail to meet his expectations or become too influential are ruthlessly eliminated. These drastic measures include public executions and imprisonment in the country's infamous labor camps, where conditions are so inhumane that many do not survive. Entrepreneurs who show too much initiative or success are seen as potential dangers to Kim Jong-un's absolute authority. Those who attempt to create economic influence networks, even if their intention is to benefit the country, quickly find themselves in the regime's crosshairs. Accusations of corruption, economic sabotage, and treason are used as pretexts to dispose of them. Executions are carried out publicly, often with cruel and humiliating methods, to serve as a warning to others. Economic officials who fail to implement the regime's policies or are perceived as ineffective also face severe punishments. Imprisonment in labor camps is one of the most brutal tactics used by Kim Jong-un to eliminate his economic opponents. In these camps, prisoners are subjected to grueling forced labor with little food and no proper medical care. The conditions are so brutal that many prisoners die from exhaustion, hunger, or untreated illnesses. These camps are designed not only to punish but also to break the prisoners' spirits and eliminate any possibility of future resistance. Prisoners are isolated from their families and society, and many disappear without a trace. The economic terror imposed by Kim Jong-un extends beyond the individuals directly affected. The constant threat of execution or imprisonment creates an atmosphere of fear and paranoia at all levels of the economy. Officials and entrepreneurs live with the constant uncertainty of when they might be the next to be purged. This climate of fear stifles innovation and initiative, as no one dares to stand out or take risks that might attract the regime's negative attention. The elimination of economic opponents not only consolidates Kim Jong-un's power, but also keeps the population in a perpetual state of submission and despair. All these reprisals contribute to the image of a leader who uses fear and extreme repression to maintain control. While not all are confirmed, the lack of transparency in the North Korean regime makes these rumors plausible and reinforces the narrative of Kim Jong-un's fearsome reprisals. I'll leave other videos on screen, something that is happening in North Korea that you didn't know about. Click right now.